Hello everyone, this is Surain. Welcome to my channel Adamant Algorithm, bite-sized Unity tutorials for everyone. In this particular video, we are going to see how to randomize a sprite whenever the game is loaded. In other words, think about a very interesting game, tile-based games like Candy Crush. Whenever the player starts to play the game, so this placeholder will have a different sprite. Okay, so alright, for better understanding, let me just play the game and I will get it. So when I play the game, this placeholder actually shows this sprite. So when I reload the game, so it's completely different sprite. So we are randomized whenever the player starts the game. Okay, so I have 5 sprites for this example, which I will be randomly loading whenever the player starts to play the level. Okay, what we're going to do is, let me show you from the scratch how to do this effect, and just a couple of lines of code, so nothing fancy. So I'm going to clean up this project for you, so it will be easy for you to follow up. So here we go, our project nice and clean. So let's start doing this coding. Well, first of all, I'm going to just keep my placeholder. Before that, let me quickly explain what I did. I have converted all my 6 sprites in here into prefabs. So because I'm going to use an array in the C# script, so it will be easy for me to use game objects rather than raw sprites. So what I did is, so this is what I did. So I'm going to just drag this prefab of the frame right here. And as you can see, inside the prefabs there is nothing else is left, so you don't have to worry about it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have an empty game object, and I'm going to call it randomizer. So this randomizer is going to be the one which will be loading up a different sprite every time the player is playing the game. So we are going to add a very simple script. So let me say random script, create an add. So wait for a while. Yeah, that's done. So let me just open up this script. So what we're going to do is we're going to call upon for a array. So I'm going to say it's a public game object. So essentially it's an array, and I'm going to give a name. Let's call it sweets. Oops. Okay, so there is one line of code actually we are going to use, which is going to be instantiate. Okay, and before I do that, let me actually show you what this piece of line that we have made, that we have written, what effect it had in our project. So in here, because the array is a public variable, it's asking for a size. So how many sprites we have in our scene? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sprites. So I'm going to say 5. Yep. And you need to just note one thing: in array, when you denote the elements, it always starts with 0. So that's why it ends in 4. But actually we have 5 objects. That makes a lot of sense. So this is one you need to remember. So in array, the elements will be one number lesser because it starts from 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to load all the 5 sprites in here so that I can randomize this in the code. One common mistake that we do is, instead of dragging a prefab, we might drag a sprite into this placeholder. Well, in order to get rid of that mistake, let's go ahead and create a folder called sprites, and we put all those confusing sprites into this so that we will not confused with the prefabs. Now I'll go to the randomizer. So I'm going to start dragging the prefabs which I want to randomize during the game. There we go. That's it. So now this is done. Let's go back to our code. So we are finished with this line 1. So the next thing is only one job left. We need to just load one element out of those 5 prefabs. Let me quickly explain you the code which is the one which has most effect, which is instantiate. So what object we are going to instantiate? We are going to go for the array and we need to specify which one. We have 5. The idea is to randomize, but let me explain you one step at a time. If I give element number 3, you know what's gonna happen, right? So what is the position? This dot transform. Wherever this game object is, it has to load right there. And any rotation involved? Of course not. So quaternion dot identity. That's it. We'll go back to the project. Wait for a while it compiles. Okay. Click load. There we go. But one problem is, no matter how many times you play the game, it's gonna load the same object because we have mentioned the third element in the array, which is the third element is 1, 2, 3, 15. And oops, the name is different. I just dragged it in a different way. So whatever which is going to be, third element is 17, this one. So it's gonna actually keep loading the same one. We don't need that. We need to randomize. So in that case, what we need to do is, instead of giving a specific number, let's randomize the order. How to randomize this? We quickly call for an integer. I say we call it random sweet, and we're gonna call for a random dot range. So this small code will randomize one number between the minimum of 0 to maximum of 5. Okay, so it will give one random number at a time between 0 to 5, and instead of giving one fixed number here, we're gonna call it random sweet. So whatever one random number that is generated by this code will be stored in here. So whatever that number is stored, we are going to use that element. Please remember, because it's in the start function, whenever the game is loading, this number will not be the same, and that's exactly why we are using random.range. That's it. You have done it. So we'll come back here, wait for it to compile, play the game. Okay, this time this one, play the game. There we go. So even you don't know, the player don't know which out of those 5 will be loading. This is one tile, so it's not pretty much. And by the way, if you move the frame, so your randomizer in the different place, so obviously that will be loading there. So what we need to do is, so make the randomizer as the child of the frame. So wherever you move the so wherever you move the frame, that will be loading right there. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just convert this frame into a prefab. Frame randomizer. So everything is cool. We're gonna convert into original prefab, and we're gonna call it final random frame. So I'm gonna delete this. So load it in a different place. And let's go ahead. There we go. So every time you play the game, it's going to be random. Okay, and that's exactly what we want. So whatever you want to do after this, it's totally up to you. If these prefabs has a collider and you're going to assign a score to this collider or make it clickable or movable or whatsoever, you can create many concepts of games like memory cards, even playing cards, whatsoever. There are thousands of ideas you could come up with, and everything works with just one line of code, which is instantiate. So if you have come this far in this video, I think you like the idea of what I'm offering in the channel. So please do subscribe. It's a fairly new channel and I'm trying to grow, and I will bring a lot of free stuff for you guys as I go. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I will meet you again with a different video of mine. Take care guys. Bye bye.